Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I've got my Drone Seekers shirt on. A shout out to all my friends at the Drone Seekers. I do have a drone review for you today. I have the Holy Stone HS720E. Now, this is one of those brands that's widely available on Amazon, and in fact, they may just exclusively sell on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure, or maybe through their own website as well. But you see them primarily on Amazon. And they did send me this drone for review. So yeah, we're gonna take this guy out of the box. It's a GPS camera drone that does not have a gimbal, but it does have electronic image stabilization. It's supposed to take 4K video. Looks like an interesting product to me. One of the things that I want to comment on is you can take a look at this box. Let me tell you, it's got some weight to it, and it's very well packaged. So that's always a good sign. If they're taking care in that it more likely, more often than not, is a quality product. So yeah, let's take this thing out of the box here and see what we got in there. So, all right, here it is, the Holy Stone HS720E, and the E, I believe, stands for Electronic Image Stabilization. They're saying 16 plus, and I would probably agree with that. Got a pretty good picture of the drone here. You can see that it does have brushless motors. There's that 4K camera right there, and it is a folding drone, as you can see. So let's take a look. We can look at the sides of the box here. Independent ESC, yeah, brushless motors. It tells us 2204 1700 kV motors and 2.4 gigahertz communication. So that is probably good. That would portend for a pretty good range, I would think. So, we'll find out. Then it lists some of the features: electronic image stabilization, 4K camera, adjustable camera angle. So yeah, that's worth talking about. You can, with the remote control, you can adjust that camera up and down. Again, it does not have a gimbal on it. It's relying on electronic image stabilization. It does have a follow me mode and a point of interest mode. And by point of interest, you would call that an orbit or a circle mode. So let's quit messing around. Let's get this guy out of the box and see what we got. So they thoughtfully provided a little spot on the plastic here that I should be able to rip this guy open. So I notice here it says scan with the transparency app. So I don't know if that is the QR code for the app to fly the drone or not, but just wanted to point it out. Okay, let's open her up and let's see what's inside. I always appreciate it when you get a good carrying case with the drone. It's important. It allows you to keep everything together. Okay, so I see a double pull zipper here, which is kind of good. In other words, you can unzip it from either direction, although it's zipped all the way around to this side right now. I should point out the carry handle. I mean, this is a quality case with this thing. So let's open it up and see what we really want to see, and that's the drone. So there you go. Ubiquitous piece of foam right there. And there's the drone itself and the controller. So I can tell you right off the bat, this controller reminds me of the type of controller you get with another brand of drone. But so yeah, here's the drone itself, and the battery just came out the back as I open it up, and I believe it does come with two batteries. And it is a 2800 milliamp 7.4 volt lithium polymer battery. So the reason that that's loose is obviously they don't want the thing coming on while it's being transported. And in fact, if you look here, you have a little piece of foam that will keep it from fully engaging, and you'll have to remove that before you can fully install it in the drone. But we're going to do that right now just to have it in there. And so you do have, I can just looking at the features, you got the lights on there that'll tell you how much charge there is on the drone. We're going to do one quick press here and see if there's a charge on it at all, and I don't see anything lit up, so you're going to have to charge that battery first. So we can take a quick look at the bottom here too. I see 2 LED landing lamps. What are those for? Those are, if you're in low light situations, that will let the drone see where the ground is. And this is an optical flow camera right here. And that tells the drone how close it is to the ground. Well, not necessarily how close, but it tells it if it's moving or not. I do not see any time of flight sensors on there, but that optical flow sensor will definitely help it be more stable at low altitudes. And these are just vent holes right here. And then taking a look at the camera itself, it seems to be, I guess I can appreciate the fact that it's, you can see it kind of move around a little bit there. It looks like it's got on rubber dampers, on silicone dampers, I should say. And that helps. That's a huge thing. You don't know how important that is. That keeps jello out of your video and keeps the camera isolated from the vibrations that the drone does. So that's a good sign. And I'm not going to force this thing up and down, but it is adjustable on the remote control, the pitch of the camera up and down. So, which is handy. That's how you keep whatever you're looking at in frame. So it says, yeah, to unfold the rear arms first. So let's just do that. There's the rear arms. And then the front arms next. And, you know, really smooth on these wireless motors. I noticed that, you know, some drones, when I said wireless motors, I meant to say brushless motors. I noticed some drones, you'll feel some friction in the motors. These are very, very smooth. Props are held on individually by screws. So in other words, each blade is held on there individually. They're already installed on here. I'm sure there's some spare props in there and spare screws in case you need them. Hopefully you don't need them. So yeah, power button on the drone is right here on the top. We'll give you a good look here. And there on the side, that is the SD card slot. And so typically on a drone like this, I'm sure it'll take probably up to 128 gig card. I'm telling you, you don't need that. On a drone like this, I typically put a 32 gigabyte card. They typically don't shoot at a really high bit rate, so they're not going to take up that much space. And I'm just going to tell you, a 32 gigabyte card is typically plenty for this kind of drone. But you know what? The other thing I'm going to tell you is this has a feeling of quality to it. Now, obviously, we haven't flown it yet, but it feels real solid and feels like a nice piece. So setting that drone aside, let's take a look at the remote. And yeah, so I'm familiar with this style of remote. So now this down here, these are just handles to help you hang on to the controller. And we want to look right here, and I am very encouraged. We have a wire inside this antenna. So that means that is a functional antenna. This one, I don't see a wire in, so yeah, you don't need to worry about it. You could leave that one folded up and it wouldn't hurt anything. And when you position your antennas, I think on this guy, you're going to have to position them down because here is where your phone goes right there. Your mobile phone gets placed in the top of this. This pulls out and pulls up, and there you go. And this pulls up, and that's where your mobile phone is, and you can adjust it up like that. So, and then push that back down, fold it back in. And obviously you got to take this off of the LED screen, but it should have full featured information on the LED screen. And yeah, so the button on the side here, I am familiar with this controller. This one is, this is how you put it in GPS. So for my money, you'd always want GPS on. If you want to fly in ATTI mode, you can. But understand if you have any wind, it's really going to blow the drone around. So my recommendation is to leave it in GPS mode all the time. This button is to unlock the motors, take off and land. This is the on-off switch for the remote controller itself. Let's see if it has any power. Yeah, nothing there. So maybe this is we'll look at the other side. I can't remember if you have to put batteries in this or not. And this is the return to home button right here. And then on the back here, yeah, speed control and turning on the lights of on the bottom of the drone right there. This button right here is to control the camera. One press to take a picture, two presses to start video. Now I believe, yeah, this button right here, or this scroll wheel right here, is going to control the camera up and down, and this one is just locked. Yeah, it's locked in place. Like I said, I've seen this controller. I've used it before. Yeah, and it is a couple of AA batteries. I should have remembered that. So 2 AA batteries on the controller. Again, I guess what I appreciate is that you have that LED screen on the front here that gives you your telemetry from your drone, and the fact that you know, when you have functional antennas, it makes a difference. A lot of the lower price drones, I'm going to say, if you look at their antenna, they won't have a wire in them, and that means that they're just there for looks only. They really don't help. But that tells us that we'll get a little bit better range with this guy. So let's take a look and see what else is in here. So this is heavy enough. I suspect it's another battery, and I'm correct. Second battery is in there. I'm not going to pull that out because we've already looked at a battery. Well, maybe we might to see everything else that's in here. Boy, there's a bunch of stuff in this box. So yeah, so there's the second battery. Extra props right here, and I'm not going to pull those out. You've seen props before. Oh yeah, so this is the charger. Sure. So you've got USB-C, and I'm not even going to pull that out. You guys have seen chargers before, but that'll tell you charge status lights right there on the back. So let's see what's in the top of the case here, and if I know Holy Stone, there'll be a really nice set of instructions, which I always appreciate. So yeah, and this is just a little gel, desiccant gel, so we'll leave that in there. And yeah, again, so yeah, telling you about the battery, the usual cautions: do not charge in the carrying case. Okay, and just as I suspected, a really high quality instruction manual. So I appreciate that, and it looks like it goes through the app and everything. And in this, and it looks like there's several languages, but in here we should find, yeah, English, German, and Spanish. We should be able to find the QR code for the app that runs the drone. So here it is on page 18. So you're going to find the QR code for iOS and the Android app code. So you're going to want to install that on whatever mobile device you use to fly the drone. Hey, okay, the Holy Stone HS720E. There's only one thing left to do, and yeah, I'll peel off all the stickers before we do it, but we need to get this bird in the air. So it probably won't be today because it is a really windy day today, but in the next couple of days, I'm going to take this guy out and fly it. And I got to be honest with you, this is one that I'm really anxious to get in the air because like I said, it feels pretty good and feels like they did some decent engineering on this guy. So yeah, we'll see you out in the field. Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, Holy Stone sent me a drone here. This is the HS720E. You've already seen the unboxing that we did with this drone. This is a product that's been out for probably about a year now. Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting product in that it has a 4K 30 frames per second camera, has electronic image stabilization, and we talked about this previously, the brushless motors, and yeah, it's got some features that I think should be interesting. So let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. And what we want to look at primarily is we want stable, jello-free video out of this thing. That's what you buy a camera drone for, is nice, stable video. So let's get it in the air and let's check that out. So the first thing that we have to do with this drone is put the transmitter into pairing mode so that we can hook it up to the drone. So to do that, we're going to hold down the lock button and turn it on at the same time. And yeah, it is in pairing mode, and you can tell that. I don't know if you can see on the LCD screen those 2 bars going up. And now we're going to turn on the drone. And I turned on the drone there, and I don't know if you could hear that. It paired almost instantly, and you can see that those bars are completely solid now, and we can see the battery power of the drone. And I see it's showing the drone battery power not quite full, and I charged that up, so I don't know what's going on there. But it is, we can see the little blinking drone up in the corner, so it's asking for a compass calibration. Or otherwise, you could do that by taking the sticks and going down and to the right. But since it's already asking for it, we're just going to do it right now. And that's 3 complete circles horizontal, and 3 complete circles vertical should calibrate it. And now I didn't hear any beeps or anything at the time, but the little drone up in the corner icon is gone, so we should be good. So now we need to get the app going. So I'm going to tap on the Feel You Go app, and I'm just going to enter device. I don't see anything that's asking me which drone I have here, so we're just going to enter device. And yeah, we are going to allow while using app. And of course, it's the first thing, and this is great, it's prompting us to hook up to Wi-Fi, so we're going to do that real quick. So the drone is on, so we're going to go to my Wi-Fi settings. Yep, there's the Holy Stone right there, so I'm going to click on that, and we're connected that fast, so that's perfect. Okay, so really, at this point, I don't see why we can't take off. But let's look at our settings real quick. And it's walking us through the app here, which we don't need to do that. It's telling me we're not connected. So I don't know what that's about, why we wouldn't be connected to the drone. So I'm showing we have 14 satellites. We're in low speed mode. I'm looking at the controller here, but not connected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of the app and start it over again here. You know, this is the kind of stuff that's so frustrating for people that the first time they've flown a drone, when things don't work like they should. Now, I have no problem working through this stuff, but I understand the frustration of new folks. So give me a second here. I'm just going to reboot everything and cycle everything. We'll start over again and see if we can make this happen. Okay, so for some reason there, what happened was, it's weird. I went and looked at the Wi-Fi connection. That wasn't the drone's fault at all. The Wi-Fi connection on my, the Wi-Fi on my phone was turned off. Well, we connected once there, so I'm not sure what happened, but we're good to go now. Okay, so we had a couple issues there to start getting connected to Wi-Fi, but we've got it going now, and we've got FPV on the screen. So let's go into settings and take a look. And we need to set that orbit right now. We want to turn beginner mode off, and we're going to set the orbit because we're going to try that. We want to move that up, I don't know, 15 meters, that's plenty. And then return to home altitude, I'm going to move that up to about 30 meters. Yeah, there's 30 meters right there. So let's sensor status, we've already done a calibration. Camera, 4K 30 frames per second, and let's format the SD card that's in there. I do have actually a U3 card. They're saying an S10 card, but I've got a little SanDisk Extreme in there, so it should be plenty for what we're trying to do. So prompt, if update the data, I'm going to say update. Okay, so that's to set the geofencing on the drone, which by that I'm sure they mean the return to home and the what we were talking about for circle mode. So this particular drone, in order to take off, And by the way, we better start recording first. So I can do that either with a double press on the controller here, or I can do it on the app. In this case, we're going to do it on the app. And you can see we've got a countdown at the top, so it started recording. So in order to start the motors on this drone, you have to hold down this lock button or give it a quick push, I believe. Yeah, quick push started the motors. And if I hit takeoff here now, the drone will auto take off. And there we go. Hey, that doesn't look too bad to me. Nice and steady. It's moving around a little bit. And as you guys saw, I would have already put it up. It's a fairly cold day today, but not much wind. We have a chance of a little bit of precip. So I'm yawing the drone down, and we're in low speed mode, and it's kind of moving around a little bit as I yaw there. So it's starting a little bit of a circular motion, which sometimes can tell you that you need a compass calibration, but it seems like it's settled down there. So let's bring it in. Yeah, so it's weird. Yeah, the controls are not working like you would expect. I pushed forward to bring it in, and it moved sideways. So there may be some other calibration we need here. Yeah, that was kind of a strange one. So I'm going to push up on the right stick and see if we can bring it towards us. And there we are. Okay, it seemed to settle down a little bit. But I had kind of a weird movement there at first. So let's just mess around with it close in here for a second. I'm going to try and bring it into us. Rick, pick it up a little bit to give you a look at the drone. And again, this is in low speed mode. So it seems to be, I don't know what the issue was I had there initially, but it seems to be working well now. So I'm going to pull down on the stick, reverse, and it's okay. So now we're going to move forward. It was interesting. It seemed like initially there when I moved the stick up, the drone moved sideways. So that was a little weird. Okay, so we're going to do our usual droney, and again, I don't expect this to be very fast. I'm going to point it off towards the corner of the park here, and we're in low speed mode, so I don't think it's going to be very fast. And that's me moving the drone around. So let's go, and look at that. It's getting some kind of weird with it's jerking a little bit, so that's a little strange. I don't like that, but anyway, we are going to do reverse and up now, reverse and up. So the up is a lot faster than the reverse here. Yeah, it's the controls I am not real happy with. I feel like I don't feel like I have really solid control with the drone. It's not terribly responsive, particularly in the bank movements. Now, up and down, I'm pulling down on it now up, pretty good, especially up. It moves up quickly. Okay. So I'm going to bring it in again, and we're going to try that droney one more time. But it just, like I said, it just felt a little strange there. And it's moving around a lot. I let off the sticks, and it kind of wanders around. So I'm going to say not the most precise. So that's not confidence inspiring, I'll say that. And you know, I have to tell you, I don't expect this is a lower price drone, so I don't expect it to be as precision as what you would have on a higher price product. Let me drop the camera down. That was me, and I kind of overshot. Okay, let's do our droney again. So we're going to go reverse, and it's fairly slow. And boy, I'll tell you what, like I said, it's movement-wise, And you're seeing, because there's no gimbal on there, you saw the camera drop there when I stopped. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I am not really thrilled with how this thing controls. A fair amount of movement. You know, when you try and go straight back, the drone doesn't move straight back. It moves a little to the side, and that's me picking up altitude there. And the drone, while I've got the stick straight down, the drone was moving to my right, and there you can see me letting off. And so that is because there is no gimbal on this drone, so it's all electronic image stabilization. But honestly, I don't, you know, the image that I see, that was me picking up the camera, doesn't look too bad. I'm going to try yawing to the drone's right, and we'll see if we can go out into the corner of the field here. And I just checked my antenna to make sure that they're correct and pointed at the drone, and it is. And again, yeah, this is kind of wild. This thing is, you know, I'm getting some break up, a little bit of stuttering on FPV. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's not terribly confidence inspiring. I'm going to try a return to home, and let's see. I want to make sure that this drone knows its way home. Okay, so all I can tell, the indicator on the screen is that the return to home icon turned blue, and I did it on the app, and it's coming back backwards. And it's weird, it started slow and now it's moving faster. Now it slows down again and it's moving a little faster. And I am pointing the antenna straight up at the drone. It's just about right above us now. I'm going to try and point that camera down as far as I can so you can see us there. And let's see how close it gets to our home point here. It looks like it's going to be fairly close, actually. I'm going to pick that camera back up so you guys can see it here. I'm going to lower the GoPro just a little. So we mowed a little bit of grass and it's bouncing around a little. I'm just going to let it stop on its own to see if it'll do it, and it did. Okay. Let's pick it back up. I am going to manually do another compass calibration just for the fun of it, just to see if that's our issue with the controls. It does have 17 satellites, so we've got good GPS lock, but let's put it into a compass calibration again. Okay, we did another calibration and the light went out, and oh, I see I was recording that whole time, so but that's all right. Let's go ahead and let's try taking off again. We got 18 satellites, so satellites aren't the issue. And let's see how we're doing. And it kicks those props right on. We're going to do a manual takeoff. I'm going to do it with the controller here. And you know what? Looks pretty good. Maybe I did need a compass calibration, although it's drifting a little bit. Okay, let's make sure my antenna are correct. Let's go ahead and send it straight out here. And again, this is in low speed mode. And again, you know, I'm pushing the thing straight up and man, it is really moving around. And it's going to hit the ground here, almost. It is, let me tell you, this thing is really moving around. And it's going into that, yeah, I'm pulling down on the stick. I'm going to land it. It definitely was, and in fact, it's not even shut down yet. I'm pulling straight down on the stick, and it was really starting to toilet bowl there. Really strange. Okay, let me go pick up the drone. Okay, we're still recording, so we might as well use the recording off of the drone. And it's interesting, I'm looking at my phone, I can see the lag. But at any rate, I'll be honest with you, I am almost half afraid to take off again. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. Let me see if I can do that on the button here on the controller. And it took a picture. Maybe I need to hold it down. Let's, no, that took another picture. Okay, I'm going to do it on the app. Maybe. There, I stopped recording on the app. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put another battery in it, and I'm going to cycle everything and see if we have a little bit better luck. The problem that I had just then is that it's concerning when you don't feel like you have full control of the drone. When it was doing some unintended movements there, particularly when we were trying to move straight forward, and it was moving to my left, the drone's right, and I had the same issue when I was trying to do a droney. And then just now when I was moving it forward, it really started that circular motion, that toilet bowl motion, which is usually indicative of a compass issue. We got plenty of satellites, so it's odd. But in any case, I'm gonna shut everything down. I'm gonna go get another battery and we'll try this again. Okay, I replaced the battery, fired everything up again, went through the calibration process again. Got it all fired up, so let's try this one more time. And as you can see, you know, initially the drone looks pretty good on startup. And that's me rotating it around, and it's dropping a little in altitude, moving around a little bit. Again, you know, the controls are just so vague on this guy. Okay, I'm going to start recording now. Starting recording. Doing the old hat so I can synchronize everything. Okay, so let's see. Let's try again. Let's do another manual droney. Reverse and up. Reverse and up. And it does seem to be better now. I'm not getting, so yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. Let me drop the camera, and you know, now I'm getting a little bit of cross coupling, but not too bad. And a little bit of stuttering on the FPV here that we see here. And then you notice when I let off, you know, you see the camera drop there. Again, that's because there's no gimbal. Let's grab some altitude. And I'm going to point it down towards the other corner of the park, and let's see how far out there we go. So we're about 123 meters out right now. And let's head out to the corner out here. And yeah, you know, it seems to be doing a little bit better. And the video looks good, and we're just in low speed mode here. Yeah, no signal. So yeah, that's so this is not going to be a drone that you're going to probably want to fly very far. I've got my eyes on the drone, and it's not out there very far. I'm pointed directly at it. I'm going to try and move forward again and see what I can get here. And again, we're in low speed mode, and I am not seeing the speed on the app here anywhere, but it's, you know, it's not moving very fast. So it seems like, I don't know what the issue was we had there just a second ago, but whatever it is, it seems to have recovered somewhat. Yeah, not connected. So there it came back. So I'm not going to push my luck here. We're going to turn it around, and it's taken that command. So, and actually it's working pretty good. So that was a pretty good little yaw there. That was very controllable. Let's go towards the other corner here. And again, we're in low speed mode. Let me kick the drone into high speed mode here, and that should be just one push of the button on the left or the right side of the controller here. No, that probably just turned on the lights on the bottom, so maybe I hold it. Yeah, holding it down did it, and I can tell I'm in high speed mode because it shows right here on the LED screen on the controller. So I'm going to kick it forward, and yeah, you can see the drone really, it's moving a lot faster, and the drone tips forward a lot more. You can see that because, again, there's no gimbal on the drone, and I'm going to come to a stop there, and yeah, watch as it puts on its brakes, it looks at the sky, and takes it a little bit to stabilize there. So let's kind of take a moment here, and what I realize is that I don't have to stop recording to take a picture with this guy. So I'm going to take a picture of the Costco off in the distance there, and so we'll have that photo that we can look at and check out. And so what that kind of tells me is that I suspect that that what this drone does is it just takes a screenshot off of video. So let me turn it around here, and you know what? Any problems that I was having earlier, it's just doing a lot better right now. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is that you know, I feel a lot more in control of the drone now than I was earlier. So I don't know if that was a calibration thing or what. So I'm going to go back into low speed mode. So that put us in low speed mode. I'm going to drop the camera here a little, and let's see if we can get out to the flag here and maybe do a quick orbit of the flag. Let's see if we can do that. And there's a big difference between low speed and high speed on this drone, I'm going to tell you. Okay, and boy, yeah, as I let off of the controls there, so I'm going to try and do a manual orbit here of the flag. Yeah, boy, it's tough. Yeah, doing these kind of moves. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just it's really tough to do these kind of moves with this drone. But let's try it still. I got it moving sideways, and then I grabbed a little bit too much yaw there. Oh, I'm trying, folks. Yeah, and then I got stutter on FPV, and I pointed right at the drone. Ah, we're doing a little better now. So it can be done, but I'm telling you, it is not the kind of precision controls that we may be used to with some other drones. So let me pick that camera back up here, and let's bring it back out into the field. Looks like we got some people setting up doing something out there, so we're going to have to be a little more careful. Moving the drone slowly forward here, and it's barely moving, and I'm at full throttle, and I'm in low speed mode. But low speed mode is where you're going to get the most stable video with this guy. Well, I'm going to put it in high speed because that's just going too slow. And I don't know why it was so much slower there, but let's go high speed mode. And you're going to see the camera dip here as I give it throttle. And yeah, the drone is moving a lot, way faster in that high speed mode. So high speed mode is how you can move around with the drone for sure. Okay, I'm going to bring it down and bring it into us, and we'll see if we can do some orbits and some things with it. So. And what we're going to do is, I think I've got enough battery here. We're going to go out and try out some of the intelligent flight modes. I did it earlier, but I didn't have a screen recording, so I wanted you guys to see that. So I'm going to take off, fire it up right now. and we're gonna head right out into the field here. And I am going to grab the camera and take it with us, and we're going to walk this drone out into the field. I don't know what's going on here. Boy, they've got some bright lights. Evidently they're doing some video work. All right, so I'm going to turn the drone around and get it facing down to me. We drop that camera down. And okay, so what we're going to do is, I'm trying to hold the GoPro and do this at the same time. We're going to go into those 4 boxes in the corner, click on Orbit Flight, and we already had set it to 15 meters. And it's starting its orbit, and it's doing just fine. And you know, I don't think it's 15 meters. But that's how you do an orbit with this drone. And it seems to be doing it okay. So to stop it, you click on those boxes again and click on Orbit Flight again, and it stops. So let me move the drone back here a little bit, and we're going to try Follow Me. And this drone does a GPS Follow Me. Let's pick up that camera just a tad. And I'm going to go back, click on those 4 boxes again, and I'm going to click on Follow Me and slide the slider, and it should keep us, if not center of frame, at least follow us. And it is. I don't know, hopefully I'm holding the GoPro up kind of behind me, so hopefully you're seeing the drone moving. I'm going to turn around so I can do it. I'm walking backwards now. And you can see the drone as I move, it moves. So, so that works, and works fairly well. Let's get out here a little ways more, and you can see the drone moving forward. So what I'm going to tell you about GPS Follow Me on a drone is that while it works, it's, as you can see, it can be difficult to keep you in center of frame. So I'm going to click on those 4 boxes again in the top left. Click on Follow Me, and that takes us out of that mode. So we've got another, this thing does have waypoints on it. And I think they call it Touch to Fly or something like that in their documentation. But I'm going to click on the one that says Points, and I'm going to set up some points around me here. We got 6 of them set up. We're going to submit. And again, we have a slider. And you'll see the drone immediately head for its first waypoint. And there it goes. We set them pretty tight here. And it's heading to its second waypoint. Now what I think is a little bit weird, oh, it kind of stopped there. So, oh, now it started up again. It got a little confused for a second. That was odd. There, it's almost to, yeah, that's the second one. Now it's going to go to its third one. And you can see I set these pretty close together here because I wanted you to be able to see it. And now it's going to go to 4. And it's funny how it'll pause for a second and then take off. Now one of the other times I did it, I couldn't exactly tell where it was going to point the camera. So now it's going to its last waypoint, which should be kind of right in front of me here. Yeah, not very far. Okay, so we're going to go back into video mode. I'm going to turn it around. Bring it back down here. And I don't know, I wonder if, let's get some height. I wonder if it'll follow me back. We could try that, see if it'll follow me back to, I'm going to go into follow me mode again. And I'm going to go back to the tripod. And it seems to be doing it. And we're down to about 3/4 of a battery here. Good deal. I mean, the intelligent flight modes seem to work fine. I wonder if I can raise it in height. I can, because one of the things I don't want to do here is, one of the things that you would have to be aware of is that when the drone's in follow me mode like that, you could walk it straight into a tree or a building, or so you're going to want to be careful. Okay, I'm going to take it out of that mode right now as we get closer, and spin it around just a little. Pick that camera back up. So what I'm kind of getting used to with the camera dial is just the opposite of how it works on most drones. You push it to the left to raise the camera up, and to the right to push the camera down. So I'm getting the GoPro mounted back on the tripod here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a manual droney, just a reverse and away. Let's throw it into a high-speed mode here. There's high-speed mode, and then let's bring it back over the top of us. I just thought of something there. It's got this bottom-facing LED lights that we haven't looked at yet. So I'm going to see. Yeah, I don't know what I did there. I must have done, that was probably me inadvertent on the controls while I was messing with the camera. But anyway, let's drop it down here, and I want to get the GoPro looking up at the drone, and I'm going to see if I can turn on those lights. Yeah, and did you see the lights come on the bottom of the drone? So those are the landing lights, and one quick push will turn them off. Let's bring it closer in here. We should be able to do that. Just wanted you guys to see that. So let me bring it down a little bit closer in. Pick up the GoPro just a little. Okay, so I'm going to turn those lights off now. They're off. Now they're on. So that's how you turn on and off those bottom landing lights. So okay, I'm going to pick that GoPro back up, and we are going to reverse pick the camera back up, and there I did it just the opposite, like I said. Pick the camera back up on the drone. Let's go straight out and up. And then we're going to do a return to home, and you saw it bounce around there a little bit. Pay attention to the video on this thing. So I'm going to hit return to home on the, well, I did it on the controller last time. I'm going to do it on the app this time. And yeah, you have to slide return to home, and it should rise to its return to home altitude, which I believe it must not have been far enough away to do that, because it's just coming straight back. And yeah, let's drop that camera down, and you'll be able to see the landing here. You know, it's pretty close. The GPS is pretty close. And you see it's off to the side this time. And it's bouncing around just a little bit. We'll let it shut down on its own. So there, that's how it shuts down. Okay, I'm going to try something else here, and that's the emergency stop. I just thought of this. It's probably something that we should try and see how well it works on this drone. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the motors, do a manual takeoff, and I'm going to back it up just a little bit. So you can see the drone there. We're not very high. We're not going to hurt it if we're, you know, just a couple feet off the ground and we're over the grass. So the red button you see right here, I'm going to hold that down, and it says for the count of 3, but I bet it'll be faster than that. We'll hold it down and we'll see if it'll kill the motors. I'm going to drop the drone down just a little. No point in getting too carried away. Okay, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, it was the count of 2. And as you can see there, it just killed the motor. So that's good to know. So if you're in a situation that the drone is flying away, let's just say it's, you know, flying towards some houses or something like that, or trees, and you don't want to lose it. Sometimes if you're in some place where it can hit grass like this or something like that, may not hurt the drone. That's the way that you can shut it off if you need to in an emergency situation. Okay, let me get everything shut down and we'll do our conclusion. Hey, okay, the Holystone HS720E. Now, it did okay. We had initially some control issues where I was giving it a control one direction and it moved another direction, which was a little weird. It seemed to settle down the more we flew it. We had one instance there where we had some rotation there, toilet bowling as we call it, that is usually indicative of a compass calibration. I landed it, recalibrated it. It seemed to be fine then. But what I'm going to tell you is the controls on this guy are not terribly precise. Even at the best of times, you know, they're not super precision. So just keep that in mind. And then, you know, we took it out in the field range-wise. I wouldn't fly this guy more than about, gosh, 150 meters or so. You know, that's about 450 feet. So you're going to want to keep it in relatively close to you. Low speed mode is pretty slow. If you're just starting out, definitely start out in low speed mode. High speed mode, it moved along pretty good. I didn't see a speedometer on the app, so I don't know exactly how fast it went, but it was moving along okay. Return to home seemed to work okay. It always landed within, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet of the landing pad here, which I'm going to say is good enough. It doesn't say that it has precision landing, so that's good enough. And often you're going to manually fly it back and land it anyway, but it's good to know for emergency situations that it will come home. I had one instance where it got out there and I lost control, could not get control back. I walked out into the field, got closer to it, never got control back. It finally went into return to home, low battery return to home. I kind of had to race it back here, and so what I did is I cycled the controller and I got control back. Well, I guess, so if you lose control, you might try that. Cycle your controller and see if you get control back. It's a little tip there. But that was a little disconcerting because that is not something that you always, you know, you can fly out of range, and what you wanted to do is if you fly out of range, you want it to immediately go into return to home. In this case, it didn't. It just sat out there and hovered. Okay, so what else can we say about it? We tried out the intelligent flight modes, which I was pretty happy with. We did the orbit, and I had it set at like 15 meters. It seemed to be a lot tighter than that, but it did an orbit, and it did, you know, it seemed to do it okay. So wherever you have it at, when you put it in that orbit mode, it's going to start immediately, and it's going to do whatever that radius is that you set it at. And then the follow me worked very well. I get a little nervous on some of these drones, putting them in GPS follow me. I've had them kind of go nuts on me before. This guy did just fine. It followed me around. Now, one of the things about GPS follow me, it's following the GPS on your phone. It doesn't exactly keep you in center of frame. The other warning I'll give you is that you could, in GPS or any kind of follow me, there's no obstacle avoidance. Pay attention to where your drone's at, because you could walk it right into a tree or a building or something like that. So you need to pay attention there. And then we did the waypoints, and I did a very short little waypoint mission, and you know what? It took it and it flew it just fine. So if that's something that you want to do, it's there and it works on this drone. Video. So that's one of the things we're most concerned about. And I've seen video from this drone before, not the video that I produced today, but that's video that other people have taken. And I'm going to tell you that it is not bad, but it's not great. And I could tell on the FPV screen that it was jello free, but you saw, even in the low speed modes, as we pitched the drone around, it pointed the camera however the drone pitched. So if you're okay with that, that's fine. It does have electronic image stabilization. for the most, like I said, it was jello free, so that's important, and that's an important thing. So if you're okay with that kind of video, you'd be okay with this drone. Pictures wise, those are essentially just screenshots, so you guys can be the judge of that. So that's about it. The Holystone HS720E. It's available on Amazon. I'll put a link down below for that, an affiliate link if you want to purchase one of these drones. And I do want to thank Holystone for sending me the drone. That was nice of them. They sent it to me for review. So gosh, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really do appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. The Holystone HS720E electronic stabilized video. See ya.